Now, government policies. Biden came out and said, we're going to slow down on the Fed. We're going to make sure that there's more, that the insulin is priced a certain way, that older folks, Medicare is taking care of people. We know that the government is taking care of our older generation. They're taking care of the older generation right now. They're very concerned about what is going to happen to all these older people who no longer can work. This is creating an opportunity in real estate because the government will pay for their housing. They will pay for a lot of their demands and their needs as they become a more expensive member of society. Hence the camera, if you recognize, as you get older, you get a little more expensive. We're like a fine wine up until a certain point. Awesome. The government's aware of that. Technology, disruptive technologies are changing the game. Companies like Zillow, the iBuyers, are adjusting how investments work. Even Zillow got beat out. There's other companies like iBuyer. There's a whole set of technical advancements that are disrupting the real estate market in general. Rent property managers are no longer as expensive. Title insurance may be replaced by cryptocurrency. Buying property may and attorneys and closings may be replaced by cryptocurrency coming very soon. We've seen transactions being done with cryptocurrency. There's a lot of technology that is affecting the real estate market that is going to make some serious changes. And if we position ourselves properly, we're going to be able to make some money. If we position ourselves improperly or not at all, then we're going to lose some money. Hence, Camp, you recognize that that's true. These are all facts. All right, now I'm going to give it up. Institutional investors, they are in the market. Institutional investors like Warren Buffett, like BlackRock, like Blue Rock. Years ago, Warren Buffett said on the air, he said, if I could buy 1,000 single families at once, I would. The problem is I can't really buy 1,000 single families. Well, that was changed about 10 years ago. Whereas suddenly investors were able to buy up entire bank portfolios, 1,000 units at a time, 5,000 buildings at a time, 10,000 buildings at a time. And so now we have hedge funds buying up the real estate that used to be ours, the real estate that us small investors used to play in that game. Well, now they can come in with zero money down, little interest, and just drop their big cash dollars into buying portfolios. The reason it's changed is because of the packaging. Institutional investors don't have time to do 1,000 transactions, but they will do one transaction for 1,000 houses. Hence, care for catching this. They're in the market. They're driving up rates. There is a labor shortage. Man, I can't tell you why, like how much we pay now compared to what we paid 3 years ago. Just 3 years ago, my labor was a third of the price it is today. And it's not just labor, it's also materials. So it's a combination of materials and labor. But a job that used to cost me $5,000, a roof used to cost $5,000, now costs $15,000 or $20,000. Hence, the camera investors, you've seen this. You're seeing this in your market as well. Awesome. Excellent. It's cool. It's great. Create some opportunities for us. The other one is migratory patterns. These are things we need to be paying attention to. These right here on the screen, you might want to take a screenshot, are the fastest growing states. Now, I'm giving you a lot of information. And I will show you how to utilize all this at the end. Is that valuable? I'm giving you all the information, but I'll show you how to actually implement all this at the end. Awesome. So these are the 10 fastest growing states. This is the percentage of total outbound moves. These are people leaving states. New Jersey, 70%. New York, 67%. Illinois, 67%. Connecticut, 60%. 3%, and California, 59%. Outbound states. They're saying bye-bye to taxpayers. And we've seen this in the news, right? We've heard about this. We've seen this. None of these states shock you, right? Excellent. Paying attention. Percentage of inbound moves. Some of these may be shocking. Florida should be on that list as well. Excellent. Demographics. Who's moving? What are they doing? Why are they doing it? The majority of people who typically buy real estate are 36-year-olds who are in a committed relationship looking to own. What we've seen is that this group right here, 65 plus, these are the holders of real estate. Hence the camera, if you know somebody who's in their 60s, 70s, and they're holding their house, right? They got nothing else. They got no income. They gotta hold on to that house. So they're holding real estate. Then their kids in the next part of the baby boom generation are also holding real estate. They've got no reason to sell. These two generations are holding. But then you've got the Gen Xers who are looking for their second house. They're kind of in that phase of leveling up. Their kids are at a certain age, and they're thinking that they want to now either they have to bring the kids back, right? Who's got kids back at their house right now, or knows somebody whose kids came back home? Yeah, they came back. You sent them out. You're like, okay, go forth, be plentiful, be fruitful, and they did. But then they came back. Now people need bigger houses. And what we've also got that group of people who did go out and were fruitful and said, I can stand on my own. The millennials, they're now buying pieces of property as well. So we have not had an inventory crunch. We have had a demand increase in the market over the last 6 years. It has not been a shortage of inventory. Don't listen to the lie of everybody on the news. We sold more houses every year on year for the last 6 years. More houses have been sold. It has not been an inventory issue. It has been a supply, a demand issue that we've created more supply than has been used, more supply than we've ever done in the past, but we still have more demand than could handle it. Hence, if that makes sense. I put that sentence out right the last time. All right. So now this conversation gets a little weird. So we've got our baby boom generation. The average buyer is around 45, but we've also got 25% are in their 30s, a 36-year-old buyer. The baby boom generation is getting older, but they are not dead yet. But they will be dying soon. At 78 years old, the oldest of our baby boom generation are expected to pass away. Currently, they are around 76 years old, 76, 77. So we've got about a year to 2 years left before they start letting go of their inventory. Hands to the camera if you can understand why somebody would no longer need something that they can't live in anymore because they've passed on to another place, another realm. So this inventory will be forced back onto the market. This is somewhere around 2024. So a big glut of supply and a generation that can no longer hold on to it. This, if you go back to the previous slide, was the biggest generation holding real estate, the over 65. They are no longer going to need it where they're going. And so they're going to start letting go of it. This is where the cycle makes sense. If you go back a couple of years, go back for cycle after cycle, you're going to see that there is a trend. We have our booms, followed by a small correction, followed by a bigger boom, followed by a bust, and then a 4 to 6 year correction time frame. If you look at this chart, we're looking at maybe 2 to 3 more years of a crazy boom. This is not necessarily a sexy time to be flipping real estate. This may be the last year or two where you could do it safely. This is an overall general view of the entire market, right? Some markets will crash faster. Some markets will be prolonged.